I'm a corporate recruiter, the headless headhunter, here to review your resumes to get you ahead of your job search. The resume we have up first is a machine learning engineer. This person has a terrible ratio. Nobody is answering their applications or getting back to them. They are confident about interviewing, but they are struggling to tailor their resume given their experience to even get any interviews. First off, you never want to tailor your resume to the job itself. That is actually how you get less interviews based on how ATSs work. They've tried a bunch of layouts and tweaks and nothing has gotten even one bite. So this person has gotten 0 interviews. This is a very simple, not a great layout in many positions. So basically they're lost and they're confused and they don't know what to do as a job seeker. And that is why they came to me and I will help them out. So I did a meter yeet of this, and spoiler, it was a very big yeet. There was practically nothing. So it may look like this person has written 20 bajillion paragraphs. The problem is, to a recruiter's finely trained eye, or alternatively absolutely horrendous eyesight, depending on what you believe about us, there was nothing here I actually needed. This might have been entirely blank, practically. So what I'm looking for in a machine learning engineer, specifically, is going to be your degree, machine learning, ML, models, LLM, NLP, AI, Python, R, SQL, TensorFlow, PyTorch, SkibbityLearn, Pandas, NumPy, Cloud. Again, any of the other stuff like Hugging Face would also work. I don't want to list them all out here. Customer-facing stakeholder clients, be the subject matter expert. So what this means is people are going to say, can your machine learning program do my laundry? And you have to explain to them in simple terms, that's not how LLMs work, what large language models do. So you need to be the expert. Then anything involving like ML ops, so ML Flow or Anaconda, and these are bonuses for some niche positions. So CAD, FEA, Cloud, Git, CI/CD, finite element analysis. The CAD and FE are there, but again, they're bonuses. I'm not going to count you if you don't have it, because those are very specific jobs that would require a machine learning engineer to need that, but they do exist. So this is what I'd be looking for. And the problem is I found nothing, absolutely nothing of it. So this entire resume is just filled with percentages. Because when I'm looking for a resume, right? When I'm looking at this is what recruiters see. When we're looking for a particular person, we're not really looking for this stuff, right? We're not looking for 99%. Our eyes are focused on this stuff. Now, maybe for the individual role, it's going to be slightly different, but that's why you only need to meet about 75% of these. You don't need 100%. And the problem is, we have to assume, one of the number one rules of recruiting, that if you don't do this, you will get fired. So baby recruiters need to know this and they learn it, is if it's not on your resume, it doesn't exist. And there's nothing on here that shows this stuff. And these are the minimum qualifications. People call them keywords, whatever, but recruiters don't call them keywords. No recruiter is like, oh, did you see the keywords on that software engineer? Bro, no. We call them the qualifications, because if you do not have these minimum qualifications, we cannot move you forward, because this is what the hiring manager wants. These come from up on high, the hiring manager, and we cannot break these usually. It takes a lot of work to change these types of requirements. So all that to be said is that there's nothing here. So yes, enhanced a MATLAB-based genetic algorithm through vectorized operations and parallel computing, achieving 83% reduction in simulation runtime while maintaining a 99.2 solution accuracy. Maybe that's impressive. Maybe you are the Einstein of your generation, but that means nothing to me, because all I need is used Python, TensorFlow, and PyTorch in an AWS environment to create our X and Y. That alone could get you an interview, and that's what we're looking for. This is what recruiters are looking for. But everybody writes it like this. And I know you have some here, but the problem is these have to be under an internship or a project or a work experience, and you need to show me how you used it and the reason or result of you using it. If you put it off to here, it doesn't count. If you put it off to here, it doesn't count. If you don't tell me how you used it and the reason and results of you using it, it doesn't count. And that is why skill sections don't need to be in your resume. But this has nothing. And when you go through this resume, I see none of this. I think I saw REST APIs and Python. In fact, I don't see any machine learning. I don't see any machine learning. You're supposed to be a machine learning research associate, and you don't show me anything about machine learning, because if it's not in your resume, it doesn't exist. That's the rule. I don't make that rule. I just have to enforce it, because otherwise I get fired and a recruiter who will come in. So you need to show that machine learning. I would challenge people to find where the machine learning is. I can't find it in this. I'm sure maybe this is a neural network and that stands for machine learning, but they're not going to know that. And the fact that you've gotten 0 responses back is part of the reason why. So yeah, the formatting on this is slightly off. Like, this should be one line and not bolded. This should be not bolded, and nothing down here should be bolded. But a bigger issue is there's nothing here. This is practically a blank resume to a recruiter. You basically gave me a blank piece of paper when I was asking for the minimum qualifications. So you're going to have to redo like all of this because there's nothing here. And I need you to be focused on this stuff. But you also never want to tailor your resume to the job itself because of how ATSs actually work. There's a lot of misconception about AI and ATSs. There's a lot. The short and sweet and simple version is most ATSs, we're talking like 99% on the market, don't have the AI stuff installed. It's just not common. It's really, really, really not. And the way we sort your application is first come, first serve. So you never want to tailor your application to the individual job, because if you do that, you will take too long to submit it, and then we will find who we need before we even get to your resume. So tailor to the job title, which is what I try to teach people, which is this. So this is the job title of a machine learning engineer and what you need to tailor it to. But in this case, there's just nothing here. Again, I found Python in that. So it's not that you can't have numbers or percentages or anything, but like, they are the garnish. They are the extra credit. You cannot pass on numbers alone. You need this stuff. This is how you pass. If you had all of this and no numbers, you'd still get interviews. So that's all I can do for this one. Before I go to the next resume, please like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the bell. If you disagree with me, cool. I'd be happy to debate you in the comments. I like a good debate. But if you need more help, you can join my live stream. That's where I get these qualifications and I help you all out more so than I can on these videos. Every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. PST at twitch.tv/headlessheadhunter. And let's go to the next resume. This is a resume review of a full stack software engineer, and this person wanted me to do a mini meet or yeet of this, so basically to decide in 20 seconds if this is what we're going to be looking for. So they are a full stack software engineer. They are looking what we're going to need is TypeScript, Python, JavaScript, CSS, HTML, Node, Angular, Next.js, MongoDB, SQL, React.js, API REST, Cloud, Agile, CI/CD, and cross-functionally. So I don't really have the formatting for this, but they wanted to try it anyway. So let's do a real quick meet or yeet and see if I can find this in 20 seconds. So go. Okay, JavaScript is good. REST is good. Python can be beneficial. CI/CD is great. AWS is good. Kubernetes, JavaScript, HTML, CSS, Agile. Yeah, and slightly not as needed, but again, unless you're going for that. AWS, is there anything I've missed in that time? I think this would be a tentative meet. I think I found most of what I needed. There's not as much like Node or Angular and Next.js, and if it is, I missed it in the 20 seconds. So let me go over this a little bit more detailed, so I can help them out. So first off, the formatting is slightly off. So this should look like this. All right, this is how that formatting looks like. If you need to put another line for the Dean's Honor List, that's fine. Then this, there should be no gaps between here. Like if you look at this, there's no gap between here, but there is a gap between these. So my biggest problem, and I was able to find this in the second one, is you usually want to start off with like TypeScript, JavaScript, CSS, and HTML. The problem is there's a little bit of extraneous stuff, and it's possible that they may miss it. So like, I don't really care about IoT systems. I don't care about Power Query or VBA, but I did want Python. So I think you need to shrink these down a little bit. And then if you can, just put like TypeScript and JavaScript, HTML, and CSS in the first one. The RESTful APIs is good, and the AI is nice, and the Python is good, but the rest of this also needs some stuff. So I think you can condense these bullet points to make it better. This is great. I'm not sure I really need Docker. So you can use Docker. It depends or not. Really depends on the role. I would count it more of as a bonus point. A bigger issue is that you have Docker and then AWS. So I would instead sort of switch these or combine these, because I really want to see the AWS up front. It's really, 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 really good to show cloud. Cloud is pretty big. Kubernetes, again, could be a benefit. JavaScript, okay, but I don't care about the Scala, but I do care about this. So it's not like, this is definitely a resume that can get interviews. The problem is you really, really want to focus it a little more, is because it's possible in the 20 seconds, if they're not a tech recruiter, they may miss what they need. Because they're too busy reading Power Queries and VBAs and IoT, that they're going to miss Python down here, or they're going to miss, the AWS. They probably won't miss AWS, but just in case. And then this is specifically more for Android. So unless you're doing like mobile dev and stuff, I don't know if you need MVVM. But otherwise, it's okay. I also would like a little bit of Angular, Next.js, and React. But beyond that, solid. I think it has what it needs. I think you will get some interviews with this once you graduate. So overall, I like it. I'm just being very nitpicky. Also, let me know if y'all like the in-review meter yeets, because I do wonder if that would be better or not. You can let me know in the comments if you would prefer me to do the meter yeets with the little stopwatch here, so you can sort of see it as it happens, and it goes doo, 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 doo. But yeah, let's go to the next resume. This is a resume of a data scientist that completely docks themselves, so I cannot scroll past this position. Please stop doxing yourselves when you send it to me. These are not real roles. We should all know that, but I don't want to. It just makes it harder for me to give you a review when you dox yourself. So this person has their full phone number and everything above here, and I cannot do it. So what we're going to be looking for in this is your degree, Python, R, SQL, industry, so like healthcare, software, explaining stuff to non-technical folk, influence stakeholders, cross-functional, cloud, AWS, GCP, Azure, business analysis, modeling, business analytics, HCP, which I still have no idea what that is today, but it was in the roles, and a bonus is anything AI related, Spark, skibidi-learn, pandas, NumPy, or Git. So this person did not give me any information at all. They just said 1 in 50, so yeah, let me try and do a meter yeet of this real quick. It's not usually set up for this, but maybe let me know if y'all like the meter yeets during these before I actually review them. So let's start the clock and see if I can't find it. All right, this is worthless. Okay, no. OpenAI, again, that could be useful. SQL is good, and I think personally that's part of cloud, but I can't be sure, so that's a no. And that's it? Yeah, that's it. Also, so first off, I don't know if this is truly a 1 in 50. I like that you have this, but I do know you used AI. And a lot of people are going to ask, well, Lee, how can you tell if someone used an AI resume? And that's because I don't know if people can see it because I cannot scroll that far down, which, you know what, I'm going to do that real quick, is here, you kept the prompt in. So that's how I can tell you've used AI is certainly, here's a concise bullet point version of your AUEB Computer Science Studios focusing on the most important and specific content. So here's the secret to AI in resume creation is it's really bad. AI has a lot of wonderful uses. AI is very hot right now. I would not recommend it to fix your resume because what AI does, and this is a gist for people that don't fully understand it, is at its core, it hallucinates. It has hallucinations. It's not good at very specific fine detail work. It guesses based on the previous stuff what you're going to say. And a lot of the time, the guessing is pretty accurate. The problem is resumes are highly, highly specific. And good resumes that get jobs are specific, and AI in general doesn't do specifics very well. So no, we're not some AI machine learning amazing people, but you know, don't keep the prompt right over there, bro. But I would not use AI. I don't know if this is 1 in 50. The fact that you didn't list anything else makes me a little sus about it. So, but yeah, and I was able to at least find like OpenAI and SQL, and the fact is they may not know this is a part of cloud, but you just need more of the qualifications, and you need to, well, write it like this. So fix your resume, resubmit it, and if you're gonna use AI, take out the prompt. Like, don't keep that in there. Let's go to the next resume. This is a resume review of actually not sure if this is a software engineer or not. They said software engineer intern, but they also were focused on embedded. So I do have the embedded qualifications as well. They are slightly different than the other one, which is this. So I'm not sure which one I'm supposed to be looking for, but I'm going to try for a software engineering intern first. And let me do a quick meter yeet. So what we're looking for is the degree, the basic knowledge of the tech stack, language, library, SQL, cloud, ability to work well with others, takes direction, and criticism. So let's try to find those real quick. All right. Oh, this is a mess to watch. Not look at. Okay, Oh, this is specifically like for Android. Engineered ATM, JD compiler. I don't... Okay. Right. Well, I did not find any of those. But I'm not sure this is a software engineer. They said software engineer intern. I'm not sure this is what they actually meant, because I feel like for embedded, even then, there's still a couple of stuff I would be looking for that I didn't find. So I'm a little confused by this. Again, I don't know if their ratio is correct. It might be 1 in 50. They did say they love my content, so thank you very much. I could not do it without you. But let's try to fix this. So assuming this, you are looking for a like software engineer intern role, which I don't know if that's the case. You will not be looking for those. You are going to be looking for these. Now, admittedly, this is entirely based on the US. I believe this person is in Italy or France, and I have never been there despite wanting to, so I do not know what the recruiters are looking for there. So in the US, what we would be looking for is a degree, the basic knowledge of the tech stack, the ability to work well with others, and takes direction and criticism. So the problem is I don't see any of that. So this is hyper dense. And the problem with this type of role is we're talking like hundreds of applicants in hours. And you're going to have to go through all of these as a recruiter. And this is really hard to read. So I want you to make your resume look like this, okay? The template is on my website. It's headlessheadhunter.org because I couldn't get .com. So do that. Go to the how to get a job part resume template. that'll fix your template, because this is a nightmare to read. This is an absolute terror when you've got 40 resumes before you and 40 resumes ahead of you, and you only have 15 minutes to try to find the candidate. So we don't have a lot of time. The second thing I would like to ask is, I don't know if you're looking for like Android and stuff, because I think I've seen MVM for like Android stuff, but this is not at least US software engineer based. So we also don't need irrelevant coursework, again, at least in the US. This should fit into one line, should not be bolded. This should fit into one line, not be bolded. I assume this is the equivalency of high school. This is code optimization, a developing a phase chain module on the pulp scout sheet. So here's the thing. I don't need this either. When you are looking for an intern, you're still looking for something very specific. Now, maybe this is, again, not a software engineer and something got wrong in translation. That's possible. They would be looking for pulp then or whatever. But we're not looking for that. We're looking for C and C++, right? Like that, and Python. So we're not looking for MVM. I also can't click this because apparently it's a hyperlink. But I don't see any Python. I don't see any C. I don't see any AWS or cloud or... also, people are saying this is not for Android. Right, no, I think it's MVVM is what I'm thinking of. Shit, that's what people are telling me in my chat. So it's MVVM, I think that is Android. Again, this is all over the place. So I don't know what these are, and they're not related, right? Like, this also can be safely deleted. This needs to be formatted differently. Oh my gosh, sorry. This entire thing is just messing with my mind. So, okay, yeah. So I don't know how to review this, because I don't know if you're actually looking for a software engineer, because this is wildly different than anything I would personally need in a software engineer intern. Yeah, that's it. That's all I can say. There's just nothing here, right? So the formatting is way off, and none of the skills are related, because I'm not looking for any of these. Now, again, let me know if this is what you're actually looking for, because I really don't know if you're looking for a software engineer intern. So I want to do more for this, but I can't, because I need more information. And it's also not for embedded either, because I have embedded software engineer interns, and I'm also not seeing that. This is embedded, right? You still want ability to work well with others and take criticism. That is critical for any single type of intern. You absolutely want that. And then Python, C, C++, but again, it's filled with pulp and PCM and MVM and AIMC and phase change. And I understand this is impressive. This is your thesis. I'm sure this is incredibly difficult and tough. And I'm not trying to demean that, but like, it's not what I'm looking for. I'm not looking for your thesis. I'm looking for this, or alternatively, this. One of those I'm looking for. So I don't know what to do for this one, unless it's like some kind of very specific thing in Italy, which could be the case. Again, I've not recruited in Italy, so let's go to the next resume. This is a resume of a, I'm going to mess it up. Nope. Business intelligence analyst. I don't know why I can never say that. This person has gotten basically no interviews. They said they're not able to get any interviews. They're applying to different roles that align with them, such as BI analyst, data scientist, and data analyst. Well, that's already part of your problem. A data analyst is going to have a different amount of qualifications than a data scientist, than a business intelligence analyst. The next resume, spoiler, is a data analyst resume, so you want to see the differences. But you specifically said business intelligence analyst, and that is a different resume. If you're trying to apply for all three of those roles, you will need 3 separate resumes, because they are all different. So if you're applying to BI analysts with a data analyst resume, you're probably going to get rejected, and vice versa. So what we're looking for is degree, SQL, ETL, data warehouse. This wasn't actually in everything, but it was nice to have. So this is I want to say the data warehouse and ETL was kind of like a bonus, but it's like in between a extra credit and needed. Tableau, Power BI, data visualization, Click View, MS Office and Excel, the ability to talk with customers and stakeholders and explain complex topics to them. Most of these roles had that. You need to be able to talk to the stakeholder or the customer, and you need to explain the stuff because we don't know it. We don't know what a 13% potato increase leads to our profit margins. You have to explain that to us. And then there's stuff that is like industry specific. So education, healthcare, SaaS, basically, you know, it's, I can't write all of those down because they're going to be slightly different based on the industry. So I'm assuming I'm not going to be able to find any of those. Let's bring up the clock to see if I can. Also, I cannot scroll past this because this person doxed themselves. Please stop putting your full number in this. I don't need that. I'm not your recruiter. Personally, I don't need your number. I'm here to help. So let's go. All right, this can be deleted. Doesn't matter. Don't care. Power BI, good. Don't care. Designing product models, don't care. KPI analysis, I don't care. That actually, I really like this one. CIC, I don't care. And time, and that's a no. So the only things I found were ability to talk with customers and stakeholders, which actually I really liked this sentence. I think this is really well done. And what else did I find? I think it was Power BI, and that's it. So remember, summaries don't matter unless you're explaining why, like, there are only 3 reasons you want a summary, and that is if you're moving to a location, if you're changing industries, or you need to explain a visa. Otherwise, you do not need a summary. So this can be deleted. Second off, oh my gosh, please stop with all the bolding. This amount of bolding is a nightmare. We cannot read this. I actually almost missed what I needed to because of the bolding. There were dashboards here. Second off, so your resume needs to look like this, okay? The more boring it is, the better. The problem here, though, is I found nothing to move you forward. And if you take anything from my videos, it's that these are the most important things. And this is why you need to specify if you're going for a BI analyst, a data analyst, or a data scientist, because those are different roles. Those roles require different qualifications. This is what makes you qualified to be a business intelligence analyst. That is not the same as a data analyst, which is the next resume, so you can see the difference. Yeah, there are some similarities, but there's still enough differences. But the problem here is I found nothing, right? Like, where's your SQL? You know what the most common qualification was across all the jobs? SQL, Tableau, and Power BI. I did not find any SQL. I did not find any Tableau. Yeah, I found Power BI. That's fine. That's good. But where's the SQL? That should be front and center. That should be your very first bullet point. It says, you know, use SQL to do X and Y. And this is why bragging doesn't work in a resume, is because I don't care that you reduced manual fundraising efforts by 40%. It's not related. I'm looking for SQL. I'm looking for maybe ETL, Tableau, Power BI, Excel, MS Office. They also all had MS Office. If you are upset at me for not moving somebody forward for MS Office, fair, but you also have to be upset for almost every single hiring manager that is hiring a business intelligence analyst, because that was in about 80 to 90% of the jobs is that, and that is what you need. So I don't see any Excel. I don't see MS Office. I saw visualization, but I did not see data visualization. So I'm assuming that's not the same thing. I will give you props, though, as most people mess up and they don't write a good how to talk with customers. This is actually a phenomenal sentence, so I wanted to give you props for it. Most people don't have this. This is how you write a good sentence that shows that. So simplified, complex technical insights using data storytelling techniques, using Tableau dashboards, I think the grammar is off there, enabling non-technical stakeholders to make faster data-driven decisions. That's actually a really good bullet point, and I want to give you credit for it. I can't move you forward because you don't have any of the other minimum qualifications, but that is a good bullet point. So please look at these. All right. Look, you can make your own aggregate list too. You can take about 10 to 15 different job descriptions that have the qualifications clearly written out. Not all job descriptions are good. And then make an aggregate list of their most common words. Those are going to be what gets you the position. So I need these. These are basic. Yeah, that's why I would always prefer someone to show the basics than a brag, because I don't care about fundraising by 40%. I care that you made a dashboard. You are assuming that I'm rejecting you because you're not bragging enough, that you're not showing how unique and cool and awesome you are. And that's not what we do. It's the basics. We just need to make sure you meet the basic minimum qualifications. That's why they're boring. So let's go to a data analyst and see the difference between these qualifications and that qualifications. My brain is not working. This is the data analyst resume, and as I said, those qualifications are slightly different. SQL, Excel, macros, pivot tables, so it's much heavier on the Excel. MS Office, Tableau, Power BI, data visualization, AI ML, Python, PySpark, R. My dog just licked me in the arm. I was not expecting that. Thank you, buddy. I did not need that. PySpark, R, being a subject matter expert. So those are kind of the same in that talking to customers and stakeholders, but I would say this is more data analyst is more showing that you are the person that shows them how to make those the stuff with the data, right? Like, we're not gonna know. So this, I'm also petting my dog halfway off the camera. That's why I'm off screen, but we're not gonna know. We're not going to be the subject matter expert. So not only do you have to like show it in simplified ways, you have to show that you are the expert of the data, and multitask. So yeah, there's some similarities, no mistake, but there are slight differences. The only problem I have with this is this person, I'm not sure if they're looking for an internship, and these are not the internship ones. So the resume that gets you an internship is not the same resume that will get you a full-time job. The qualifications for an intern are different. What I'd be looking for in an intern would be maybe like SQL, Excel, Tableau, and you can work well with others and that kind of stuff. So I'm not sure what to judge this on, because that really does matter. But let's assume, all right, let's assume that this is for an internship, and I will be a little bit less critical. So this person has gotten like no interviews. That's what they stated. And let's see what I can do in 20 seconds. So starting the clock and go. Okay, well, first off, this formatting is a nightmare. This can be deleted. This can be deleted. I don't really care about that. Well, you led. I don't care that you led. Where's the R? Okay, R is good. Why do I care about Canva and Figma? I do see Excel. Tableau dashboard. Okay, yeah, no. So I found, in that time, I found R, which was good. I found, what did I find? It's so hard for me to read this. I found Excel, and I found one more thing, and a little bit of SQL, but that's it. If you notice, that's like 3 things. So your resume is too dense. You are a smart person. You are graduating with a data theory and data science engineering degree. You are doing that at the same time as your master's. I think it's safe to say you're probably smarter than me. The problem is the people that are reviewing your resume are not smarter than you. You gotta lower this. This is too much. There's too much here. Like, this is so dense. So not only is the font off, and let me give you this up, because again, you want my website that'll give you the link. So first off, there's a reason it looks like this, okay? This is the format. This is how your resume looks like. People get confused. They're like, oh, I'm a software engineer. I need a specialized resume. No, you don't. There are only 2 types of resumes a person needs. One, you need this type of resume. The other is if you're a high-level director, you've done a lot of contract work, or you have a spotty work history. Those are the 2 types of resumes. 95% of people, they're going to need this one. So are you. I don't care if you're a software engineer, a barista, a low-level manager, or a recruiter, or a scientist. You need this resume. So The font should be 10.5 Arial, okay? Nothing should be bolded with the exception of, here, look, this should be bolded, this should be bolded, and then the very top, your name should be bolded, and that is it. And if you have like a project section, then the project itself should that. So this is how much bolding I want to see in a resume, no more than 3 to 4. In addition, this can be in one line. This can be in one line, and I think you could fit your GPA in there as well. Your summary doesn't matter because, again, I don't care about that. You don't need that. I care about this stuff. And assuming this is an internship, I care also about, which, let me get this, oh gosh, this. Whoa, my computer is messing up. This, okay, I hope that recorded well. This is what I care about. The ability to work well with others and takes direction and criticism. And I cannot find it here, and thus it is not needed. I cannot find it here, and thus it is not needed. A skills section is not needed. This is junk. This is like candy, right? Well, not candy, because candy tastes good. This is empty calories. I will probably should stop doing food metaphors. But this is not needed. There's nothing here that I can use to move you forward with. I'm sorry. I wish it was as easy as writing out your skills, but it's not. You have to write them in the bullet points. You have to write them in a way that shows how you used it and the reason and result you used it. So the problem I also found here, if you are looking for an internship, because again, you don't need all of these. You do need SQL and Excel and maybe data visualization and AI. That's what I'd be looking for in an intern. But I need to know how you worked well with others and took direction and criticism. Every single intern hears that and shows, I need to show leadership. And that's the opposite of what we need. We don't need you to show how you led people. You're an intern. We need to see how you followed people. That's the goal, is how did you follow others? How did you follow their directions and instructions? Because it doesn't matter if you led 150 people to, I don't know, take back Goku from Frieza's hideout. It matters that you were led, right? I want to know that you were led, not that you lead. And in here, I saw one of them, which is led the comprehensive data research. Like, that's cool, but I want to know that you worked in a team of 4 and you met weekly with them to go over criticism of your project and then implemented those changes. That's what I'd be looking for. So this is way too dense. The formatting is not helping, and you don't have a lot of the qualifications I'm looking for. Although when I'm digging into it, what it looks like is it's so dense I probably missed the basics. So stop putting everything down you've ever done, all right? Not like no one wants to see all of that. I know you're impressive. I know you're smart, but you can't put everything down because a resume is not built for that. It's built to show you meet the minimum qualifications. That's it. So simplify it. Put some more Excel. Put some more SQL. If you are going for interns, put the ability to work well with others and takes direction and criticism. How did you work as a team? How did you have somebody say, hey, your idea stinks. Here's how to fix it. Did you fix it? Right? Like, we need to know that you can do that, because otherwise your manager is going to be like, okay, Bob McBoberson, you know, your data analysis was okay, but you missed your 2 should have been a 3. And then they flip the desk and they run off and they punch a wall. That's not what we want. And that can happen. So you do need to show that. But that's all I can do with this resume. I hope this was helpful to everybody. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Leave a comment. If you think I'm wrong, that's cool. I will debate you in the comments. I'm happy to do that. I like debating stuff. And if you ever need more help, you can always join my Twitch live stream at twitch.tv/headlessheadhunter every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. PST, where I give more help and, that I can in this. So until next time, I'm here to help you get ahead of your job search.